Right, so that window we're looking at is the master bath window, and in there is a very old Newtone fan heater light model. It's a 9091 is the model number. They don't make those anymore, and I had the motor replaced, I don't know, I want to say 5, 6, maybe even 7 years ago, just so that the heater would work on it. We never used a vent because as we get to the roof here, you'll see next to that stack pipe there's never been a vent. And I was up in the attic and I checked it, and whoever installed it just stuffed the vent part of that heater exhaust fan with insulation. So, and there's no holes in the roof sheathing I guess is the word. So it's never been vented, and I want to get it to vent. So it's pretty close to where that stack pipe is. I think if we move over, it'd have come down about probably 5 feet or so. So we're going to try doing this today and see where we get. Alright, so this is what I'm putting in today. I worked in the attic all morning long getting that set up for the old heater vent that hasn't been vented to the outside, and this is what the vent looks like. There is a damper in there so to keep the cold air out. I was in the process of cutting the hole into the roof, and I was using a very cheap Harbor Freight 5-inch hole saw because it's got to be 5 inches, and I used this hole saw quite a few times for different projects, and running it through those 2 layers of shingles really did it in. So I went to Menards because I also needed roofing nails, and they wanted 37 bucks for a 5-inch hole saw, and I'd have to buy the arbor for it. Those are the nails. I also bought razor blades. Oh, I also bought marking crayons too, so I can mark on the shingles, and those will come in handy for a different project later on you'll find out about. Oh yeah, so I went to Harbor Freight because I wasn't about to spend $37 on one hole saw that I'm going to use once probably. And I went and bought the exact same kit I bought years ago to get that one 5-inch. Oh, that's just beautiful. There it is. This one here is the one that I need. Look at all those teeth. So yeah, I'm going to cut that hole through, and then I'll show you what I'm doing here. Alright, so here's the hole. After I got that Harbor Freight hole saw, and this actually cut out pretty far, and this was the nail I drove up from the bottom so I could see where I was going. You can see the ductwork in there. Yeah, I didn't cut it off yet, but yeah, it's kind of hokey the way they did it. You're probably not going to be able to see it because it's dark in there, but I'll show you what the plan with that is in a second. I didn't want to take the camera up there because it's really dusty, dirty, and very hard to film up there. Very small area, especially being as tall as I am. So I'm going to get this installed here in a second because I guess there is rain coming today, so we should probably do something with this hole. A couple things note, if you look on the side here, I got about 1 inch worth of asphalt shingle here. Maybe these top are fiberglass, but there's the old layer here, and then this is the newer layer. Well, I'm not going to say new because these are quite old already. So yeah, there's actually a lot of shingle on this roof. So even if these shingles look kind of shady because there's not a lot of stones in some of these, no fear, there's a lot there yet. Alright, so let's see what we can get done here. Alright, so this is what it looks like. Hopefully I did this right. I'm not an expert on this. But it said to trace around the flange, so that flange is way up in here. And then you measure in, and then you just cut a space. Oh, I should be able to get this up. I'm going to get this up just a little bit higher. I don't know what I'm stuck on. But I want to get that up, and I'll run some of this roof and flashing caulking around here like it says you're supposed to, and then you nail it off at the bottom down here, probably where this hole is, over here, and get this flange to sit flat on the roof. So yeah, doesn't look too bad, I guess. Alright, so here it is. I got it all tarred in here. I just put 2 nails at the bottom, one here, one there. I think in most cases when you install them, you're not supposed to seal across the bottom, but this thing is sitting really wonky because of the number of layers of shingles here, and you can see the roof, it just goes like this, it's up and down. So, and then the fact that this piece was so small, I gooped the crap of this piece underneath, and I also gooped the seam. I also put down a layer of tar underneath this before I slid the whole thing in. So there's a layer of tar underneath that, and you got to remember there's a whole nother layer of shingles underneath this. If I were to do this again, I would have measured it a little different than what they said, because you could have got the shingle here much closer. They give you a little wiggle room to kind of slide the thing in. You could definitely get it much closer. So I'm going to leave the caulk up here, or the tar, because I don't know if I'm completely done or satisfied with this. It's not the prettiest thing at all, but I don't know, I guess it'll do its purpose. Alright, so this is the one I installed, I don't know, a year or two ago for the other bathroom. So this one just looks nicer, and we didn't tar the bottom here. And you can tell too, the shingles are much closer, and even on the top here. Still used quite a bit of caulk. I don't know, we didn't caulk over here, I'm not sure why. We probably could have, but that's how it looks. And this one's been working really well. I think it freezes up in winter. If it's really cold, it freezes up, but other than that, this is what it looks like. Alright, so we're going to go up in the attic here and hopefully finish this project. I just want to point out a couple things you should have once you go up in the attic. A pair of gloves, especially when you're dealing with insulation, it's going to get itchy. Hammer holder, if you're doing anything with a hammer, put on a hammer holder. It's one less thing you got to carry, because I'm going to be doing a lot of crawling here in a second. I like to use a trouble light because it puts out a lot more light than a flashlight would, and you can kind of set it up the way you want. Also a dust mask. I didn't have one of these on yesterday and I was coughing like a machine. What else? Oh, long sleeve sweatshirt. Hood is good if you're really dealing with some nasty stuff, but long sleeves for sure. So that's where we're going. We're going up this way here, and that is from that point over is almost the length of the house. We're short about 25 feet of being the full, I don't know how long the house is. I want to say 80 feet. I don't know. I should know, but I don't. So yeah, it's a long ways, a lot of crawling. So let's get set up here. Okay, so here we go. Oh, yeah. So this morning I was up here. I'll be honest. It wasn't cool, but it was comfortable. Right now it is warm. It is, the heat is definitely here. So you can see I made a path here. There's some plywood down for a little bit. You gotta get underneath. Let me turn the light on here so you can see what's going on. We gotta get past that antenna and that mess of coax cable. Okay. Now we have to go underneath the antenna. Oops. This is the hard part. Did I mention it's hot up here? Okay. Once we get past the antenna here, see there's some more wood down here, which is nice. So you can walk across these ceiling joists here. Now, you got to make sure you step on where the wood is. So in between each piece of insulation here. For those you're wondering, there is vermiculite in here that was put in when the house was built. The house was built in 1968. I don't know, some people say vermiculite has asbestos in it. Probably does. I don't know. I can tell you this, if you ever do anything in your ceiling and you drill a hole, that stuff will rain out of there like nobody's business. So it's always a good idea to check before you do anything stupid like that. What else here? Oh, and then there's a layer of pink insulation here. And then there's also the added, I don't know what this is, if that's R19 on top of that. The attic's insulated pretty well. The attic itself is insulated pretty well. All the little holes for the can lights and recessed fixtures and crap like that, not so much. Okay, so there it is. We're up here now. And this is what I worked on this morning. So that's the old fan unit there. And you'll see, maybe you can't see, but the ceiling joist that runs through there. So where that piping comes out, they notched out the ceiling joist. Now, I am no expert. I'm not a builder. But had I put this unit in, I would have made sure that that ductwork would not have come out right where that joist is. Why not take this whole unit and rotate it about to, if we're looking at that and that's 12 o'clock, why not put that vent at 3 o'clock in between the joists? I don't understand why they didn't do that instead of notching that out. And then, like I said, that vent hole was just packed full of insulation. They never used it. There's the new hole that I put in there. Oh, that's nice. And then I couldn't get this flexible ductwork around there because the hole was so tight. Luckily, I had a 4-inch elbow that I put on there and ran an extension cord up here because my cordless drill doesn't work. And I put in 2 self-tapping screws. I also caulked all around the openings of this fan exhaust heater. And then once I get this pipe cut up here, I'm going to insulate this all to pieces. And you'll see that'll be a really short run there. That'll actually be pretty nice. Won't be a very long run of this flexible ductwork. All right, so let me get to work here and stop talking because I am sweating like a machine right now. Okay, so you can kind of see it back in there now. I think I got all the insulation. I might have to adjust that a little bit. Now looking at that, I don't like the way it looks. But this is going to be my last time shooting up here for a while because this is hot and the camera is all full of fiberglass now. So yeah, that's what it looks like. I got her connected on the top there with that zip tie, or cable strap, whatever you want to call it. All right. So here's the unit that I've been screwing with. The wiring on this unit is not right. You can't run the heat without having the vent on. The heater, the elements here will just get hot and the fan won't turn on. And I don't know if this is original or somebody had to replace some parts. It says that it's a model 9091. They don't obviously make this model, and I had this motor replaced, like I said, not that long ago, so they know the motor is good, but like the wiring had all sorts of labels all over it and like splicing and weird stuff. And I'll be honest, some of that has to do with me because I tried to figure out why this thing didn't work, but I just gave up on it. We just know that if you're going to put the heat on, you also have to have the vent switch on, otherwise it doesn't work. And now, hopefully, when we turn the vent on by itself, it'll actually vent, since now there's ductwork that takes the venting outside. Alright, so let's get this installed. So there it is, installed back in again. It's pretty easy to take that whole unit out. It's just a matter of 2 screws and an electrical plug to make the connection. So I just got an LED light bulb in there. So this is the way it looks. The caulking here, I added caulk around this rim because the hole was cut too big. And like I said, that vermiculite would end up running through. So I caulked that up and caulked up any openings. I think I got it. And then now with the vent here, so now that should be venting out outside. I'll leave that on, we'll check the roof. And then when I turn on the heat, you hear that damper door change. Now the wind is blowing out here and this is warm, and the heating elements up there are getting warm. So it should be working. Now it's just venting. That's the light. So it's definitely loud, but at least it'll be working now. Alright, so let's get the cover back on and I'll turn it on and take a trip out to the roof. Alright, so there it is, the grill put back on. Okay, we're gonna go out and see if the vent is venting out the roof now. Okay, so after looking at this, I guess it's not terrible. I think the caulk makes it look bad, and the fact that where I pounded a nail up, I didn't know where the shingles were. I mean, you could have split the difference a little bit better, but I just pounded a nail up and then used that as the center for my 5-inch hole. I probably could have moved it over some. Now that I think back, I guess next time I can do it that way. Let me see if I can grab a leaf here, because I don't think you'll see it. But yeah, I got it on right now and it's blowing. And it'll if you can see this or not. Like this, you can see that the leaf is blowing. Maybe you can't. And it's windy outside. Well, take my word for it, like it's blowing a ton of air right now, which I am super impressed with, because that bathroom would be so fogged up after a shower, and there's always like mold up in the corners because it's not venting properly. Now it will be. And it only cost me, I think this thing was like 19 bucks for the whole kit, which came with the hood, the 2 zip ties, the little metal adapter, and then that flex pipe. I did have to buy a tube of that, this roof and flashing, whatever, this roof flashing stuff, which was like 5 bucks. I don't know what I'm going to do with the rest of the tube now. Maybe I'll walk around and find stuff like that up there. Looks kind of terrible just to use it up because it doesn't really keep. And then I had to buy a box of roofing nails because I didn't have 2 roofing nails here to put in on each side. New razor blades to cut the shingles. I had to, of course, buy a whole set of hole saws, but that was only 17 bucks. And now I have them if I have to drill any more holes in my roof, which I hope I don't have to. So, yeah, so this project is complete. I like it. It should work well. That's what it looks like.